Wawel Royal Castle, Wawel recovered. Wawel Royal Castle, perched atop Wawel Hill in Krakow, Poland, stands as a testament to the nation's rich history, cultural heritage, and architectural splendor. Serving as the residence of Polish monarchs for centuries, it has been the backdrop for pivotal events that have shaped the nation's identity. Today, the castle not only symbolizes Poland's resilience and pride, but also functions as a premier art museum, attracting millions of visitors annually. The history of Wawel Hill dates back to the Paleolithic period, with archaeological evidence indicating human habitation for over 50,000 years. Strategically located on the banks of the Vistula River, the hill provided a natural defensive position, making it an ideal site for settlement and governance. By the 7th century AD, Slavic tribes had established a presence on the hill, laying the foundation for what would become a center of political and ecclesiastical power. Early medieval legends speak of a fearsome dragon residing in a cave beneath the hill, a tale that has become an integral part of Krakow's folklore. The establishment of a bishopric in Krakow in the year 1000 marked the beginning of Wawel's prominence as a religious center. The construction of the first cathedral soon followed, solidifying the hill's status as a spiritual hub. In 1320, with the coronation of King Ladislaw I, Wawel became the official residence of Polish kings, symbolizing the consolidation of the Polish state. Under the reign of Casimir III the Great, 1333 to 1370. Significant architectural developments transformed the castle into a Gothic fortress, reflecting the monarch's ambition and the kingdom's growing influence. The dawn of the Renaissance brought further transformation to Wawel Castle. King Sigismund I the Old, 1506 to 1548, initiated extensive renovations, inviting Italian architects and artists to infuse the castle with Renaissance aesthetics. This period saw the addition of the iconic arcaded courtyard and the enhancement of the royal chambers, establishing Wawel as a paragon of Renaissance architecture in Central Europe. However, the castle's fortunes waned in the 17th century. A devastating fire in 1595 led to significant damage, and although reconstruction efforts were undertaken, the decision of King Sigismund III Vasa to relocate the capital to Warsaw in 1609 marked the beginning of Wawel's decline as a royal residence. Subsequent invasions, notably by Swedish forces in the mid-17th century, further contributed to the castle's deterioration. Period of occupation and degradation. The late 18th century ushered in a particularly tumultuous era for Wawel Castle. Following the Third Partition of Poland in 1795, which resulted in the loss of Polish sovereignty, Krakow fell under Austrian control. The Austrians repurposed Wawel Hill for military use, converting the castle into barracks and erecting defensive fortifications. This militarization led to the demolition of certain historical structures and a general neglect of the site's cultural significance. Once majestic royal chambers were subdivided and altered to accommodate soldiers, leading to the loss of original architectural details and interiors. The impact of the partitions of Poland. The late 18th century brought profound challenges to Wawel Hill. The three partitions of Poland, 1772, 1793, and 1795, by Prussia, Russia, and Austria led to the nation's disappearance from the map of Europe. Krakow, and consequently Wawel Hill, fell under Austrian control. Krakow, and consequently Wawel Hill, fell under Austrian control. The Austrians repurposed the castle complex into military barracks, leading to significant structural changes and neglect of its historical and cultural significance. Austrian occupation and its consequences. Under Austrian rule, Wawel Castle underwent substantial alterations to serve military purposes. Historic chambers were converted into soldiers' quarters, and many original architectural features were lost or obscured. This period marked a low point in the castle's history, as its identity as a symbol of Polish sovereignty was overshadowed by its function as a military installation. The struggle for restoration. The journey to reclaim and restore Wawel Castle was arduous and spanned several decades. Polish intellectuals, artists, and patriots spearheaded efforts to preserve the nation's cultural heritage. Their endeavors laid the groundwork for future restoration projects, even as the castle remained under foreign occupation. Public involvement and funding. The restoration of Wawel Castle was not solely the endeavor of architects and historians. It was a national mission embraced by the Polish populace. Public fundraising campaigns were launched, encouraging citizens to contribute to the restoration efforts. Donations poured in from various segments of society, reflecting a collective commitment to preserving national heritage. One notable initiative was the issuance of symbolic bricks, certificates acknowledging individual contributions, which fostered a sense of shared ownership and pride among Poles. Challenges during restoration. Restoring Wawel Castle was fraught with challenges. Decades of neglect and the structural changes imposed during the Austrian occupation meant that restorers had to meticulously research historical records, artworks, and architectural plans to accurately reconstruct the castle's original design. Balancing historical authenticity with the structural integrity required innovative techniques and materials, making the restoration both an art and a science. Wawel during World War II. The outbreak of World War II posed new threats to Wawel Castle. Nazi forces occupied Krakow, and the castle became the headquarters of Hans Frank, the Governor-General of the occupied Polish territories. Despite the oppressive regime, efforts were made by Polish conservators to safeguard the castle's treasures. Many invaluable artifacts were clandestinely evacuated and hidden to prevent their plunder or destruction. Post-war restoration and preservation. After the war, Wawel Castle once again became a focal point for national restoration efforts. The post-war period saw renewed vigor in preserving and showcasing Poland's cultural heritage. The castle was transformed into a museum, allowing the public to reconnect with their history and identity. Continuous preservation efforts have ensured that Wawel remains a testament to Poland's resilience and dedication to its cultural legacy. The Wawel Recovered Exhibition. The Wawel Recovered Exhibition is a culmination of the castle's storied past, focusing on its periods of adversity and the relentless efforts to restore its grandeur. Housed within the Gothic cellars of the castle, the exhibition utilizes modern interactive displays alongside traditional artifacts to narrate the history of Wawel Hill from the late 18th to the 20th century. Exhibition highlights: architectural models and artifacts, multimedia presentation, and tribute to restorers.